Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Carolann, or Wahi, and I'm so excited for today's video because I'm going to be talking music again this week. Would get into what I've really been enjoying for my music favorites within the past month or so. So I decided not to wear any makeup today because I wanted to let my skin breathe, but I have these enormous lights shining on me, so I'm sure every little bump and imperfection will be highlighted, but sometimes you just have to have those days where you let your skin breathe. And it's really hot today too, so I was just really not interested in putting anything on my face. So we will embrace the redness, the shininess, the bumps and all the things. Anyway, I'm really excited because I'm going to be talking about 3 of my favorite albums that I've been enjoying recently. Some of them were just released in April or May, and another one of them is from last year, but I kind of just recently hopped on the train for that one, so I thought I would definitely go over my favorites. And I'm also really excited because I noticed that all of my favorites that I'm going to be talking about right now are actually women artists. And I kind of reflected and realized that I don't think I listen to that many women artists or feminine artists that much. I feel like most of the artists that I listen to are men. So I'm really excited to kick off my album favorites with some women. The 3 albums that I'm going to be getting into are Trip by Jhené Aiko, which, like I said, this album was released last year, so it's not very new. The second album I'm going to be getting into is Isolation by Kali Uchis, which was just released in April, and I'm super excited to talk about that album. And then finally, the last video that I will be talking about in my favorites is Dirty Computer by Janelle Monáe, which is an absolute masterpiece and I feel like has been really awaited. And I'm a recent fan as of pretty much this year, so I'm really excited to get into that one. I'm gonna break this down is basically I'm gonna go over some of my favorites in the albums and then kind of talking about the overall themes that I've noticed and what really resonated with me. I'm gonna kick this off by talking about Trip by Jhené Aiko. So I kind of fell into Jhené Aiko, I would say around 2013 or 2014, mostly because I was introduced to her from my cousin and also from Childish Gambino. Childish Gambino featured Jhené Aiko in Because the Internet and some of his other songs, and vice versa, she featured him in some of her music. So I think Sold Out, the first album, I'm not sure if that's right, was the first album that I listened to, and I didn't really listen to the whole album. But I've definitely been a fan. But I recently discovered that she released Trip and decided to listen to it, and I really, really enjoy it. I feel like this was my first introduction to a whole volume of her music that I really enjoyed. Before, I was mostly just listening to different tracks that she was either featured on or that had gotten popular, but I really listened to this entire album and I am just really amazed. I will show you a picture of the album cover, and that really communicates the mood and the theme of this album. So it's called Trip, so you can get the idea that it's kind of psychedelic and talks a lot about her experiences with drugs, but not necessarily in an only positive light, so that drugs are the best thing that you could do and there's no negatives to them. And even if that were the case, I wouldn't really mind, but I appreciate the nuance that she talks about the experiences that she has with drugs and how sometimes it can be used as a crutch, or sometimes you can have a bad trip on them. Like, she even has an entire song called Bad Trip. I really appreciate that she discusses the complex relationship that you can have with drugs and how that really affects her outlook on life. So 3 of my favorite songs that I wanted to give the honor of putting at my top favorite is first Nobody. The other one is Overstimulated. And finally, Psilocybin. First track, Nobody, I just absolutely love this song. I think it's really deep and really speaks to the self-esteem problems that everybody has and the isolation that you'd really like to engage with. And I honestly I feel her pain in this song. And I feel like I can really channel that negative headspace that many of us find ourselves in, even if you happen to be an amazing creator or artist or music producer. You can still find yourself in the common human experience of just putting yourself down and feeling like there's nobody that you can relate to. I also wanted to mention one of my favorite lyrics from each of the albums, and so this is for the song Nobody. And the lyric goes, "Been dealing with this venomous rage since I was under the age. I've been under the influence of pain." And I feel like, honestly, that's why I love looking at songs as poetry, because that is just so poetic. Like, under the influence of pain since I was under the age. I think that's amazing and really speaks to trauma that we endure in childhood and how that's kind of our first experience that we have with kind of like an intoxication or like almost like a drug where you kind of become numb to it because you experience it so much. So I just thought that was a really brilliant lyric. And some of the other themes that I saw in this album was definitely love. She talks a lot about love for her family and also I think love for her partner Big Sean. She really, goes in about having a love like she's never experienced before, which maybe is like another character that she created for this story, because she does take on the persona of Penny, and there's a partner or like somebody that she's in love with that you hear throughout the album. But I think it's also partly like Janae speaking about her relationship with Big Sean. So it was really amazing to hear her take on what having this new type of love in her life is like. And then the honorable mention songs that I really wanted to provide space for were Sativa. I think that's featuring Sway Lee or Swali. And then Never Call Me, which is featuring Corrupt. And then Only Lovers Left Alive. I think those are all amazing tracks as well. Sativa and Never Call Me seem like to be the most popular of the songs that was kind of going around outside of the album. But I still think they're really good songs. Also, I noticed that a common theme throughout all of her albums is her talking about her brother that passed away. I think this really speaks to my soul because I lost a sister, but I never got the opportunity to know her because she passed away when I was really young. But hearing from her perspective as somebody that considered her sibling to be her best friend and then ended up passing away, I don't know what it is about hearing her speak about that, but it's really powerful. And not that I can super relate to that or anything, I just think that's a really powerful theme and something that I appreciate her talking about and giving space and opening it up for us to listen to. Moving on to the second album that I'm going to be talking about, which is Isolation by Kali Uchis. I feel like was a really highly anticipated album. It's her debut album, so she's been putting out music for a while. But I was introduced by Kali Uchis from Tyler, the Creator. The first time I heard her was on Cherry Bomb with the Young and Fucking Perfect or Fucking Young, I can't remember, but that song, she's featured in that track, and then she was also featured in Flower Boy on See You Again. So that is when I first listened to her, and I knew she had an incredible voice and amazing musical talent, but I really started to look into her when she dropped After the Storm with featuring Tyler, the Creator, and Bootsy Collins, and I just fell in love with her aesthetic, and I feel like that's a really good word to use because she has just such an amazing, unique, very identifiable style with her. Like, I see something from her, and I'm like, that's totally Kali Uchis. That's definitely something that she would do, or something that she would like or wear or whatever. And you can tell she puts so much effort into her fashion and into her music video visuals. So I absolutely appreciate an artist like her and Tyler the Creator and Janelle Monáe and so many others that really spend a lot of time with their craft of visuals, because that is what just draws me in so much. So 3 of my favorite songs on Isolation were Tyrant, Miami, and Dead to Me. So I feel like those were all really amazing tracks. I feel like some of the themes that I noticed throughout this is kind of her nod to what it's like to kind of get more fame and more recognition. So the positives of that, like, you know, getting more money or getting, you know, into access into, you know, more higher or like elite spaces. So I kind of get that like Hollywood girl type of feel to it, especially when she's talking in Miami. She talks about in Miami kind of this character or this girl that moves to Miami looking for fame and opportunity, but how she really has to hustle in order to get there, and that it's not going to come to her easy, but she still has big dreams for herself. And I feel like that really speaks to the actual person of Kali Uchis and how she's done so much work in entering the music scene and everything that she does. And I noticed that she kind of talks a lot about like haters and people that don't support her, and how she definitely lets them know that like, I see you not supporting me, and I see you trying to still get something out of my fame and out of my success. I also thought I would mention one of my favorite lyrics from the album, specifically from the song Miami. So in the very beginning, she says, "When I was just a little girl, had my sights set on a bigger world." And I think that specific part, like that melodic part when she's singing it, I just get that stuck in my head on a loop. And I also just love that idea of being a young person and knowing that there's something great out there for yourself, and having confidence that even if you're in a situation where you don't see a lot of opportunity, that you can still have your goals and your achievements very high for yourself. Some of the other songs that I thought I would give an honorable mention to were Body Language and Nuestra Planeta. And I really love Body Language. I really love that she featured it in one of her music videos. Just, it's such a beautiful, like, sound, like the chimes, and it sounds like very dreamlike. And I would say that's another theme throughout her music, is it sounds like you're in a dream. It's like very beautiful and almost like hazy when you're listening to things, but just overall, like, the sounds are very melodic and kind of give you that alternate dimension, as if you're trapped between like being asleep and being awake type of feel. And then also, I think since I've been following her on Instagram, she mentioned how she doesn't have that much budget for music videos, yet she still really just delivers on these amazing visuals. And I again just have to give her credit for crafting such a unique style and making her interest in visuals so well known. And I feel like that's something that's so important in art and content creators, is that you want to make a style or something that you look at it and you're like, oh my god, that's totally them. Like, that's totally their vibe. That's totally something that I could see them wearing or doing or being interested in. And Kali Uchis just does an amazing job at doing that. And then finally, perhaps my most favorite and excited about, I mean, Isolation and Dirty Computer were really close, but I think because I'm so brand new to Janelle Monáe's music, I was just so excited to watch the film. So I'm also going to be talking about my music favorite of Dirty Computer by Janelle Monáe, which just recently came out and actually features an entire film. If you're somebody who likes Beyonce or Frank Ocean, you notice sometimes musicians will release like an entire film of their music. So just like Lemonade by Beyonce, Janelle Monáe created a film for Dirty Computer, and oh my god, I can't even explain how amazing it is. It's just absolutely stunning and breathtaking, and again, kind of does that like very crafted, totally her style type of thing. So I think she has an amazing fashion sense and visual, interests in what she includes in her film and in her music videos. The first one that she released was Make Me Feel, and that is what recently turned me on to Janelle Monáe. So yes, I'm not like an old fan of Janelle Monáe. I totally admit that. I just recently hopped on the bandwagon, but I have to say, like, she's amazing, and I know that I don't have the like length of time of being a fan to confirm that, but just as it was very easy to be turned on to her music. So the first one that I heard was Make Me Feel, and that visual music video was stunning as well. I absolutely loved the visuals in that, and also like one of the major themes in Dirty Computer and a lot of the content that she's releasing is her pansexual identity. So for me, I'm bisexual, and I just absolutely resonate with being part of the LGBTQ community and her relationship with same-gender people. And I have to totally give a shout out to her inclusion of Tessa Thompson and their maybe rumored relationship. But I absolutely love Tessa Thompson. I saw her in Thor Ragnarok. I watched her in Westworld. She's absolutely stunning and gorgeous. I also watched her in Dear White People, and I've loved her since I laid eyes on her because she just has an amazing personality, and she's just so beautiful, and she's so fun. I follow her on Twitter. She's great. So when she's been including Janelle Monáe in a lot of her work, I was just so happy, and especially if they do have a relationship, I'm so supportive. Not that my support matters, but I totally ship them. But anyway, so 3 of my favorites from Dirty Computer are Screwed, Django Jane, and Crazy Classic Life. So I thought those were all really good tracks. And I guess like the kind of style of music is kind of very upbeat, almost like workout music from like the 80s. For some reason it reminds me of that, even if I'm completely wrong. And definitely like digital type of noises. And there's also like the theme throughout the film and in her album lyrics is about digital and like technology, and she talks in the film, or not talks about it, but like in the film there's the visuals of like the police state interaction and navigation that she experiences being a Black woman, and she talks a lot about femininity, and she talks about her experiences being a Black woman and how that intersects with her identity of being a pansexual person. So there's a lot of discussion of and like commentary about like the socio-political state that we're in right now. And like I said, she talks a lot about femininity, so she really talks about feminism and equality for women within the songs. I also wanted to include one of my favorite lyrics, which was from Django Jane, and it's kind of a long lyric, but I'll read all of it, and it's: "We gave you life, we gave you birth, we gave you God, we gave you earth. We fem the future, don't make it worse. You want the world, well what's the truth? Emoticons, Decepticons, and Autobots." And I thought that was a good snippet of the digital and like socio commentary that is really common throughout the film and her album. And I feel like it was just a visually stunning masterpiece. I love the coloring in it. I love the editing in it. I love the way that it was produced. And I also have to mention how she is just so multi-talented. Like, she's an actress as well, and she's very musically talented. So to combine the two to make a film, I thought it was just a wonderful idea. And like I said, her inclusion of Tessa Thompson just like made me so ecstatic. And her visuals are just beautiful. So some of the other honorable mentions that I wanted to give to the songs in her album were also Pink and I Got the Juice. Sorry, I had to check my notes. I have a little notebook here to help me throughout this video. But both of those songs I thought were really great too, especially Pink. The music video for Pink is so cute, and all the femininity in it is just like wonderful. And I absolutely loved like all the pink tones and all the very like pastel colors, and the outfits that she chose were just stunning. So overall, Dirty Computer by Janelle Monáe was just absolutely beautiful. I feel like it's going to be one of those albums that's just a classic for me, something that I play all the time. But anyways, that is all of the albums that I'm going to be talking about for my favorites in this video. If you've listened to any of these albums and you have your favorite song or your favorite lyrics, or if you don't agree that they should be one of my favorites, I would love to hear your commentary on that. And let me know some of the albums that you're anticipating that's going to be dropping over the summer. I'm so excited for summer music drops, so I definitely need some more content to find. But I hope you liked this video. Please give this video a thumbs up because it's really helpful. And leave a comment down below, like I said, and also any recommendations on things that you would like me to also feature in more videos. But again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy your morning, afternoon, day, evening, night, what have you. But I'll see you in another video. Pahiko!